gotten belief on some wrong belief that it's okay to do that. He hears that because he watches the news and he watches things like Fox News, where they talk about things that they call news, but they're really not. They use that coded language. They use hate speech. They talk about the president as if he's not the president. They talk about churchgoers as if they're not really churchgoers, and that's what this young man acted on. That's why you can walk into a church and treat people like animals when they're really human beings.
That was South Carolina State Representative Todd Rutherford earlier today, trying to put some of the blame for last night's mass shooting on the Fox News channel. Joining me now, two Fox News contributors and Christian ministers, Dr. Alveda King, niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and a director of Priests for Life, and the Reverend Jacques DeGraff, associate pastor of Canaan Baptist Church in Harlem. First, we'll begin with Alveda King. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It's so sad to see more divisiveness and hate poured on top of already divisiveness and hate.
Megyn, thank you for the opportunity to get to the heart of the matter. My uncle, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., once said that hatred cannot drive out hatred. Only love can do that. And my uncle, my daddy, Reverend A.D. King, his brother, we're coming up on Father's Day weekend. I miss them very much. Talked about a beloved community. And so to reach out to try to perhaps blame Fox News for the shooting or things like that are not going to bring the healing to America, to the family, to the bereaved members of those families who now have lost their family members. I do agree with the governor who said that we have to heal. We have to give ourselves permission to heal. And I must add, Megyn, that we must pray. And so, and please, may I say that I do agree that gun control will not stop problems like this. And to just say simply, it's Fox News, the fault of Fox News, and if we have gun control, it won't happen, that's not realistic.
It's you know, I know that the Reverend Martin Luther King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, as you reference. Only light can do that. And yet we've seen such a rush to go to the dark place. I think people are searching for answers. I mean, I think people don't know what to do with this kind of pain and grief, and so they lash out trying to blame anything they can. What should they be blaming? What do you think is at the heart of this?
I believe that Dr. Carson hit on it quite well when he talked about the divisiveness, those things that divide us and cause us to fight each other. We are created of one blood. We are supposed to be a human family. My uncle also said that we must learn to live together as brothers, and I say as sisters, or perish as fools. It is correct to say that we all sometimes don't see each other as human beings. We look at the dividing factors. And so all human life being sacred for the unborn, from the womb to the tomb, the sick, the elderly, certainly to go into a church. The president mentioned that it was the black church. I remember that my grandmother was shot in Ebenezer Baptist Church by an African-American man in the 1970s. And actually, that's the first thing I thought about when I heard this incident. Like my cousin Martin III, I said, oh no, not again. And I didn't see skin color. I just, you know, my grandmother was shot by an African-American man on a Sunday while she was playing the Lord's Prayer on the organ. And so it's not about whether a church is an African-American church or Caucasian church. There's no such thing. There's the worship experience for human beings.
Dr. Alveda King, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Joining us now with more, the Reverend Jacques DeGraff, associate pastor of Canaan Baptist Church in Harlem and a Fox News contributor. Great to see you too.
Good to be here.
What about that? I mean, you can't deny what this guy said and the hatred in his heart for African Americans. And yet, I don't know, is it about race or is it about the deterioration of our society, as we've seen in so many of these cases?
Well, I think it's about a combination of the two. I think that there is certainly a black worship experience, and there's certainly, in this instance, this is a hate crime by any standard.
Correct.
And I think that the black community is particularly grieving because the black worship experience on Wednesday night, the prayer service, is not like Sunday morning with the singing.
We have a picture of it. We have a picture of the actual prayer service, the Bible discussion that they were having prior to. Look at this. Look at this. There's the pastor moments before he was murdered. This was taken by one of the victims shortly before he was murdered as well.
Well, you know, we can't go into the mind of a madman, but I believe it's because of the incandescent light that pastor and that church shined that drew him in, that even as they preached the gospel and lived the gospel,
he was desperate to put it out.
Evil,
it was threatening to him.
Evil came to the door. So the real question is, after we get through the lamentations and the hand wringing, what are we going to do about it? Not after the tears have dried. Are we going to do something about bringing races closer?
What about bringing the races closer and bringing the community together? No, I mean, we shun God in the public square.
Exactly.
We don't come together in Sunday services the way we used to. Am I wrong?
No. One of your correspondents said a little earlier about how everybody, no matter what they did on Saturday night, went someplace on Sunday morning. Those fundamentals have been driven out by the politically correct crowd. But the basic crowd, the reason that Emmanuel will rise again is because of faith. And that faith may not be politically correct, but it has sustained us for generations and generations yet to come. So what we need to do as a people, whatever God you fear and bow down before, we need to pray to that God, but we also need to do tangible acts as people and citizens of America outside of our own community. And so each of us needs to become an ambassador to find somebody to connect with and make a difference.
What a great way to try to shine some light in this darkness as opposed to adding to the hate. Reverend, so great to see you.
Good to be back.
Thanks for being here. Also tonight, we are going to take a look at how the media is reporting on this shooter and whether they are helping or hurting. Next.
This program is brought to you by Fidelity Investment.